I'll call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the pledge. President Seeger is excused this evening. Trustee Ranucci?
Here.
Commissioner Arndt is excused. Commissioner Bottani?
Here.
Commissioner Hayes?
Here.
Commissioner Morath?
Here.
And Commissioner Stitchman.
Here.
In the absence of President Seeger, I'm going to ask for a motion to nominate a chairperson.
I'll make a motion to nominate Forty Ranucci as chair.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, first question I would have then is that the meeting has been verified, noticed?
Correct. The meeting was posted according to open meeting laws.
Okay, and roll has been taken, so the next item we have up is citizen participation per village resolution 2017-01. Anyone wishing to address the Plan Commission during citizen participation will be allowed 5 minutes. Your subject can be anything, whether or not on the agenda, and the Plan Commission should not engage in discussion regarding comments because it was not part of the publicly noticed agenda. Upon conclusion of this citizen participation segment, members of the audience are not allowed further comment unless they are participating in a public hearing, excuse me, or if specifically allowed by a majority vote of the Plan Commission due to involvement in an agenda item. Okay, with that, then I guess we will open the citizen participation. Is there anybody out here that would care to speak? Okay, first person up, yes, please. And please use the microphone because are we still online, correct? Mm-hmm. On YouTube, and so that everybody on YouTube can hear what's being said, we have to use the microphone. It'll light up.
Okay. Hi, my name is Miko Erkema. I live at W3468 County Road J in East Troy. My wife's right here. My family and I have been residents of East Troy since 2003. We've raised 3 kids that have went through the East Troy School District. I'm speaking to you today to talk about the upcoming discussion of the Board Planning Commission to talk about the comprehensive plan as it pertains to multifamily housing density. The current plan's highest density is 10 units per acre. If you look at the plan, there's no explanation why it's only 10 and why there's not more density, especially in select areas such as the Chester Burns site and the area across from the mobile home park. I feel that I'm qualified to state this as the company I work for on my day job is Walker & Dunlop, who in last year was the #1 multifamily lender in the nation, even larger than Wells Fargo and JP Morgan. Excuse me. I am also the developer of the newly constructed Point Apartments in Mugwanago on the Lynch site by Phantom Lake Apartments and have another 300 multifamily units that I own. As you may know or not, I am under contract to purchase the Chester Burns site on Division Street. The comprehensive plan, I believe, states that the properties on or near the square are not subject to multifamily restrictions as to the percentage of multifamily in the village. I will be applying to the village to change the density so that I can build 90 units on the site, which is just below 19 units per acre. There is precedence with this, with Honey Creek being 23 units per acre, and just for comparison's sake, Wildwood is 13 per acre. Why should the comprehensive plan change, or should you approve a PUD at Chester Burns? The market has changed since the writing of the plan. The pandemic has fundamental shifts in how people live and work these days. For example, housing demand. There is record demand for rentals that are condo quality, especially in suburban communities. Retirees are downsizing, people don't want to maintain their homes, and smaller units are more desirable. People want to live by themselves. The retirees that move into these apartments will free up houses for new families to move into the community, increasing our school student count. Secondly, construction costs are up. We're estimating that for 90 units, since we built the Point in Mugwanago, the cost will be 15% higher than it was this past January. We spent almost $15 million on that project, which is $170,000 a unit. We're expecting that if we do this here in East Troy, it's going to be around $185,000 to $190,000 a unit. Just to give you a frame of reference, the rentals that we're getting in these 1 bedrooms are over $1,100 a unit, 2 bedrooms are over $1,500 a unit per month, and 3 bedrooms are over 2,100 units per month. So you'll see that we'll have high income earners that are being residents of this community. There's also very strong demand for apartments that are walkable to destinations such as the square and the railroad. We feel that there's going to be tremendous economic impact for these businesses around the square, and these tenants will support these businesses. As I mentioned before, the average income of renters in our Mugwanago project is over $80,000 annual household income, so we see that that's going to be about the same here in East Troy. Further, we're estimating that the taxes generated from this project will be approximately $300,000 annually at a $14.2 million assessment. Just to give you a frame of reference, Honey Creek has 274 units and is assessed at $16.1 million, and their tax is $345,000. So it's going to be a significant tax benefit for the village. There will also be minimal addition for fire support and police support, as evidenced by the Point Apartments in Mugwanago. Some of the things that I've heard about we don't want this big density because of these apartments are crime and noise and stuff like that, but with the costs that we have into these apartments, we're getting high quality tenants. A breakdown in Mugwanago, we have over 15 retirees, 6 public employees, 14 people in the medical field. We have attorneys and other business owners. The other complaint we hear is, well, there's too much traffic. Well, the Chester Burns site was a school before, so in the morning and the evening, there was lines of parents picking up their kids. If you look at the parking lot in Mugwanago, over half of those cars don't move every single day. There's a lot of people that are working from home these days. Finally, my house value will go down. I can give you an example. Grey Wolf Partners built a project in Hartford called Rankin 225. This was an 82-unit project just north of downtown, right next to other residences, and prices did not go down. They went up. So that's basically what I wanted to say. I also looked at alternatives for the site. If you do single family, I just don't think it makes any sense. A new 1,800 square foot home today would cost over $400,000 or about $225 a square foot. I just don't see it happening in that location. If you're saying, well, we want low density multifamily, at 10 units per acre, that's like 40 units. The cost would be another 5 to 10% more because of the economies of scale. You know, when you're doing 90 units, you get a lot more economies of scale, so the costs come down. I would have to actually do more of a Class B project where you'd have, you know, lower quality tenants if you stayed at 10 units an acre. And I think that the community would rather have higher quality units and higher quality tenants. I would like to propose that the village should increase the density to just under 19 units per acre. The buildings will be set back and have plenty of green space with neighbors, between the neighbors and the buildings. Our developments are mindful of our neighbors' concerns, but you also have to look at the greater good for the community, and I believe that the benefits will far outweigh the concerns. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Okay, Ted had his hand up first. I have to be honest with you. I'm sorry. I'd also like to remind everybody it was my error when I first announced the parameters. I forgot to mention that we ask everybody to keep their comments to about 5 minutes, if you would, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ted Zess, N8305 Weber Road. As a member of the school board, the schools need two major things for us to prosper. One is tax-based growth, one is residence growth. Right now, we're in a kind of a holding pattern. We're not gaining residents in the East Troy area. We're not gaining a lot of tax base. We're seeing small increments, 2-3% a year. And with this change to the comprehensive plan, or potential change to the comprehensive plan, we could see some benefits to the school district by allowing more resident growth within the center of the community, something that's been lacking for the last who knows how many years since any developments happened in the center part of the community, at least residential growth. And speaking as a member of the school board, I'm in support of changing the comprehensive plan to allow higher density in the downtown area. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you're more than welcome. Come on up. Please announce your name, your address.
Jay Campbell, W735 Miramar Road, East Troy. Campbell Construction is my company. I'm also here to speak in support of increasing the density for the project that Miko's referencing. We were the contractor on the Point project, but we're also developers and working with several surrounding communities. Our office is in Mukwonago, but we're currently working on developments within the village of Waterford, within Whitewater, as well as Elkhorn in the not too distant past. And those municipalities also have some lower densities called out in certain areas of the village, but they've been very supportive to increasing the density to really try to stay competitive. So that's my primary point, which goes along with Mr. Zess's point about increasing tax base. I've been a resident of East Troy for just about 30 years now. So to see some growth and to have something help spur some growth would be something that I think the community is in need of. Thank you.
Thank you again. Is there anybody else that would wish to speak?
My name is Dale Ames. I'm a school board member. I live at N7297 State Road 120, East Troy. And I really don't have a prepared speech, and I'm not a real good public speaker, but I'm going to speak from the heart. I'm telling you that this school district needs this deal to go through. We have 19 out of 20 heat exchangers cracked in the middle school. We have plastic over windows with duct tape to keep the cold out in the wintertime. We have roof leaks all over the place. We have driveways that are crumbling. We need this deal. This district is out of money. We've downsized as much as we can. I'm asking tonight to do the right thing and to let this gentleman do the development. This decision that will be made tonight will be felt for years and years to come. And if you make the wrong decision, there'll be no turning back. The district needs this, and I can't tell you how much it needs it. I just wish I could jump up and down and scream about how much it needs it, but you gotta know, we have to have this happen. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. You had your hand up next year.
Hello, I'm Gina Dingman. I live at W2539 Indian Head Lane, which is in the town of Lafayette. East Troy phone number, Elkhorn mailing address. I just wanted to talk to you guys about how we feel as the real estate agents on this property and what we've had on this property for the last 652 days that it's been on the market. We want you to take that into consideration as you discuss it. We're here to support the buyer, Miko. He came with a great plan to the school. He wants to be a partner to the school, and I'm asking the village to be a partner to the school and to the buyer. We have the Tri-Troy Alliance. We have all these people that try to come together to make every thing work in our community, and I'm here to ask you to help this developer as well, and the future growth of our community. When we first started this, we came to the village and said, what would work for the zoning for a future of this property? And the village said to us, we want to be a good partner. We want to help somebody through. We don't want that vacant. And so we put it on the market, and here we are today. Let's just see here that we did have other buyers look at this property. The numbers don't work for single family. There is too many costs of infrastructure for it. We also know that there's been kind of a precedent set perhaps from the village that the rentals to the percentages of the rentals to single family has been I guess extended for the Torontomy, for the Honey Creek people there, and reviewing some of the I don't know what you guys, like your declarations or that have been set, that if it's within walking distance of the square, that perhaps you can extend the percentage of single family to multifamily there. So we feel that this is within the walking distance and it should be part of that zoning area. Finally, we all know that if the schools aren't bringing kids in, we're not selling houses. And the values of our houses go down, our tax base goes down. And so I guess in closing, we just want you to take into consideration everybody that's talked for the project. I've spent countless hours with the referendum trying to get that passed, and a lot of people have done that, and it just did not pass. And to get these people and the school some money for their property, I think that's really important. So, thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak? Mr. Lambrix?
Steve Lambrix, W-2251 St. Peters Road, also the owner of East Troy Lumber. And let me just state, I've never met this man, so I have no inclination to push this project because it's going to benefit me whatsoever. I've never met him before. But I have been here before with the same conversation about increasing densities for properties. I've had the conversation about this 30% rule, and kind of the way I look at it is you guys have three choices, right? Either you change the percentage rule, right? Those, or maybe the properties that you've designated as infill properties, which this is one, a property that I had talked a few times in front of the board is another. So you either can change your percentage or eliminate the percentage, and I've talked to many other municipalities in the area and they don't have a percentage. We do. You can designate these properties as infill properties and allow that percentage to go above that 30%, or you deny the project, right? I think those are your choices. I, of course, would like to see you designate them maybe infill. It's kind of a, a cross of everything. We have the increase in density, but you're not doing it for the entire village. You're doing it for select properties. And I was also here a couple years ago speaking to the board when they were talking about removing the dam. And I know there was people here then speaking that we need the dam. And I'm on the school board as well, and we have to make tough decisions based upon the best interest of the community. Not the loudest part that happens to be there that day, but the best interest of the community. And they voted to get rid of the dam. And yeah, that's going to affect a few property owners negatively, but the overall best interest of the village as a whole were served. And I think this is a very similar situation. Some of the neighbors may not be happy with the potential development there or other places in the village, but you guys, that's your job, is to look at what's the best interest of the village as a whole. That's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would wish to speak at this time? The citizen participation is open. And again, I will ask, is there anybody else that has anything? It doesn't necessarily have to be about the item that the last 6 people have talked about. If you have something else you wish to discuss, you're more than welcome to. And again, I'll ask for the third time and then close it. Is there anybody else wishing to speak for public or citizen participation? Okay, then no one else to speak, then I will close citizen participation. And I guess the next item then is we are going to ask to approve the Plan Commission minutes of July 12th, 2021.
Motion to accept the minutes from July 12th as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept July 12th's minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we ask now for approval for the Plan Commission minutes of July 19th, 2021.
Motion to accept the minutes for July 19th as presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept July 19th, minutes as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, with the next item, number 8, would be the item on the agenda of exterior renovations of the building located at 2087 Division Street, ROP 00068, in the Downtown Design District. David or Maureen Allen, applicant, application 2021-16. And there will be possible decision by Plan Commission, and of course, details are online. Okay, I will ask now for input from our esteemed zoning administrator.
So is the property owner here?
Yes.
You want to come up and just present basically what you're proposing? It's pretty straightforward, but.
Hi, I'm Maureen Allen, 2093 Division Street, East Troy. What do you want me to do? Oh, tell you what we're doing?
Yep.
Okay.
You can pull that down a little bit too if you want. There you go.
I like being tall.
Okay.
Okay. It's the old Ivans building. We've turned it into Zinn's Mercantile, which is a retail space, and we just want to change the look of it. So all we're doing is painting the area that's already painted into 2 different colors. It's not painting the stone, nothing else. So just kind of refreshing it, make it look like it's not Ivan's Restaurant.
Does anybody on the Plan Commission have any questions? Any observations? Any thoughts?
So just real quickly, obviously the property is in the Downtown Design District, and there is a section in the code that talks about color schemes and number of colors and so on and so forth, and that's part of the staff report. Obviously the colors that they're proposing are muted, and that's basically what we're looking at.
It's pretty straightforward. I mean, if anybody in the audience, there are basically just 2 colors being proposed for the building, and it's not, hot pink and electric blue or anything.
Could be.
So I guess if Tim, correct me if I'm wrong then, if there's nothing else to add or anything else to discuss?
You can make a motion for approving the revisions, basically the repainting to the facade as proposed.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the revisions of repainting to the facade as proposed. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Good luck.
Do you want me to stay up here since it's like 4 in a row? Okay. It gets simpler as we go.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah.
Okay, item next, revisions to the building located at, same one, right? No, I'm sorry,
Next
it's
door.
2093 Division in the Downtown District. That's David and Maureen Allen again, application 2021-17.
We're re-siding the second floor, getting rid of the wide siding so it matches the first floor siding.
This is the main building where the tavern and the restaurant are now with the
Yep.
porch.
Yep, the 3-story building.
I was going over this basically for the people.
Yes,
Yeah.
sorry. It's the big one. So we're, the second floor still has the wide siding, so we want to get it to match the first floor. And then, the paint color is just slightly different than what's on there, and we're going with a trim that's a little more, contrasty.
Does anybody have any questions for the folks? I guess not. Tim, is there anything you want to add to that, or anything for discussion?
So I did include a motion for your consideration, and actually, you can just ignore that reference to the encroachment agreement.
Am I noticing, Tim, that this, staff report, though, has both the backstage paint and, the forward part of the building all in kind of one?
So basically, the backstage, part is basically the same colors.
No, it's not. That's different colors. That will stay the same.
But you're repainting it the same color?
Yes, the backstage is staying the same color.
Yes.
The backstage is staying the same color as it is. That's not the same color as the front.
So even though they included that as part of their application, I mean, as long as they're staying with the same color, nothing needs to be done, and it's here for informational purposes, and that's it, but.
Okay, I got it. I just didn't know if that was the reference to these, the barn red and the other trim color.
The little red building in between is staying the same color also.
Gotcha. Very good, thank you. Then I will make a motion to approve the revisions to the facade as proposed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the item on the agenda as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is exterior number 10, exterior renovations to the building, trim and tidy cleaners located at 2121 Church Street, ROP 00106 in the Downtown Design District, Bar Investments LLC, Chris and Tim Barr, applicant. And this is possible decision by Plan Commission. Is Tim, Chris here?
They could not make it to the meeting tonight.
Then are we to still follow through with this, or are they asking for a postponement?
No, I think this is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Again, they're basically just, proposing to repaint the building with a different set of colors, and they're shown as part of the application. Basically, a dark blue, dark gray with white trim.
Does the Plan Commission have any questions in regards? No? Okay.
Seems as though it all fits well enough with the required code.
All right, well, with that then being said, I guess we'll look for a motion to approve the exterior renovations of the building that belonging to Trim and Tidy Cleaners.
I'll make a motion to approve the revisions to the facade as proposed.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the revisions to the facade of the building at 2121 Church Street. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Tim, get your paintbrush out. Okay, next item up, the exterior renovations to the building located at 2100 Church Street, ROP 00114 in the Downtown Design District. 2100 Church LLC applicant, Cheston Kesselhorn agent. And the application was in 2021-19 is the number. Tim?
So the applicant is not able to be here, they're out of state, but they're asking for two things. The first is to install a clock, as previously discussed when they came back here a couple of years ago with their initial plan. Now they've got a clock in mind. It's 4 feet in diameter, which is fairly big, but, it's proportionately in scale with the building. The face of it's gonna be backlit, so at night you can see the numbers and numerals and so on and so forth. So that's the first part. The second part is a set of signs above, the windows, above the door. As set forth in the zoning code, they get a certain amount of square footage, and they're just under that. So the only other consideration would be the appearance and colors of the sign. Obviously, what they're proposing is, in my judgment, in keeping with materials. They're well placed. They're designed so that as tenants come and go, they can slide in new names without having any issues. So those are the two elements to their proposed application.
And it looks like the signs do kind of complement the window colors.
Yes.
And also, I like the idea that clock, it can be visible from the square.
Would the signs eliminate the window lettering? Because that's considered square footage also, correct?
So the signage is not lit. It's not backlit at all.
Okay, but is that still part of the total square footage with the window
So the question was with regard to the window signage. That is different. It's basically the wall sign is what's permanently affixed to the face of the wall. So there's a separate number for window signage and a separate number for the wall signage.
Are there any other questions? Okay, with that being said then, I guess all those in favor of approving, all those in favor for the exterior renovations? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the revisions to the facade and signage as proposed.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the renovations of the building at 2100 Church Street. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, exterior renovations of the building located at 2077 Division Street, ROP 00064 in the Downtown Design District, the East Troy Lions Club applicant, application 2021-20. Tim?
John Biersack, board member for the Lions Club.
Just real quickly.
What we're looking to do here is, you can see the two main windows are done on aluminum brown framing, and we just want to update the main door. Will be done the same way, the windows above it, and then we want to match the basement door matching the front door, and the plywood above that basement door being replaced with a commercial window also. Putting it more back to what it used to be, but a little modern day look on it. So it'll go from two doors to one 42-inch door. And then there'll be a side light on each side of that door. And then the two windows that are on the other sides, those will be replaced also too. So basically, they'll just be taking out the windows like as if it was a storm window and replaced it with aluminum brown frame to match the front windows. Those were replaced about 12 years ago.
So just for clarification, basically the double doors that are there now,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be replaced with one single door.
Yep.
And is that going to be the same location for that door? Is it going to be recessed?
It's going to be the exact same spot it is now.
Okay.
And just centered.
And then the other part too is basically, there are some wood details. Those are all to remain?
Yeah, it's just going to be, they're going to be putting these windows inside the wood that's already there.
Okay.
So down on the bottom, there where that little rail is, where that little white bucket is, that stuff will all stay there. The windows will be set into the wood that's there. Kind of like what we did with the front. We kept everything else the same with those two big picture windows. Those were done, like I said, about 12 years ago. And those are just inlaid into the concrete and the wood that's there.
And then some of the windows on the upper story are to be,
There's just two cracked windows up there. They're just replacing the windows themselves. They're a thermopane window. So the whole
They're replacing the windows or the glass?
just the glass. That's what's going on upstairs. Nothing's changing up there other than some glass.
To be clear, Jim, down there on the bottom, you're mostly concerned that the trim parts stay, right? The columns and the
Yes.
medallions and such, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
That will all stay.
so just, real quickly on that point, under the zoning code, there is a section that talks about, replacing windows, and what they're proposing is perfectly fine. The only stipulation is that they need to be a dark brown, and that's what they have, that's what they're gonna be doing, so.
Are there any other questions from the board? Okay. Do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay. I guess then we'll look for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the revisions to the facade on the proposed property.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the renovations to the Lions Club building, and, as per proposed with the information given to us. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, I guess the next item, 13, potential revisions to the village's comprehensive plan. Take it away.
Okay. So, just by way of, context, obviously this is a matter that we've been reviewing, over any number of meetings. There was a joint meeting with the village board. Most recently, the Plan Commission looked at potential revisions to the comp plan at the July meeting. And, staff was directed to kind of clean up that resolution. And in your packet is that version as we had discussed at the meeting. It's dated August 5th, 2021. And there's 3 or 4 different sections. The first section of the resolution basically, it addresses that proportion, that threshold of multifamily to single family. The changes are shown and underlined and strike out. So that's the first section. The second section of the resolution redefines what is considered mixed residential. Previously, it was, basically multifamily, and like we had talked about at the last month's meeting, it was thought that a better definition is warranted, and that's on the page, on top of page 2, basically corresponding to the TR8 and the AR9 zoning classification. That's the second part. The third part, or the third section, is something that's new, essentially, and it relates back to the multifamily threshold, is to define particular properties as infill development. And then if those properties are shown as infill, then if they develop at a multifamily density, then they would not count towards that threshold limitation. So that's what we've been talking about. In terms of the process, basically the Plan Commission would make a recommendation by a resolution, if you're so inclined, and that starts the process. If there is no resolution, if there's no recommendation, the comp plan stays as it is right now. Okay? If there's a resolution to be made, then that starts the process again. And if you're so inclined, it could be a resolution made tonight, or it could be made at a subsequent meeting. But if a resolution is forwarded to the village board, then the village board does the public hearing. and they have to wait 30 days between the date of the publication of the public hearing notice and the public hearing date. So it's kind of a drawn-out process, and it's probably intentional that way under state statutes. If there's any comments, questions, I can answer them, but this is what we've been talking about for any number of months now.
Right, and I know that we've talked about this, we talked about the strengths that are in it, we've talked about the advantages it has to sale of these properties, to the development of these properties, and I know that some of you weren't at that joint meeting that we had with the board, and I'm in support of the change to the, well, I'm in support of this resolution going forward to the village board. I think it's important for us to be aware, though, that some of the strength that's in this is that the resident does still have a voice as this comes down, and it's important that we respect that voice if that voice is spoken. I know that there was some dissent to that idea that someone may or may not like it, and that's may just be too or bad for them or not, but the truth of the matter is that we want development, we want smart growth, and definitely investment in this town is something that we want to encourage as well, but there's a quality of life here. And if a resident feels that we are challenging their quality of life by allowing higher densities in areas that may not quite fit them, then they have the right to come and let the board know, and the board needs to respect that voice. I'm not saying they have to follow that voice, but they should respect listening to that voice. I know that a lot of the talk of communities that are allowing this, and they're talking about the areas that they're allowing it, are not exactly the same areas as some of these infill properties. They're not properties that have, single-family homes directly adjacent to them. Again, I'm not a naysayer. I'm saying if a voice comes forward, you should listen to it and you should take that to heart. I will vote to send this up as a resolution, but because that strength still exists within our code.
Thank you. Is there anybody else here on the board that wishes to speak or have some thoughts on this? Tim, I'm going to ask a question. Now, just to be fair, there was a lot of discussion tonight as far as the target property that's on Division Street that does belong to the school. And I guess I would like your input on that issue since it was spoken about tonight, as far as how it's going to be reflected in this.
So, as you can see on the map, the school properties, there's two different parcels, I guess. They are both shown as infill development. So if they were to be developed as multifamily, then they would be permitted to, proceed, even though the threshold is over that set amount. Okay? But the issue, again, is going to be, that future land use designation. And currently, those properties are shown as mixed residential, okay? And obviously, one thing that you're always trying to strive for is making sure that new development fits in. And, we had talked long and hard about, densities, what's in the areas. Obviously, development, supporting the square is good and so on and so forth. But here again, it just has to, fit the circumstance. And that's kind of why I think we're, proposing the change with regard to what is, really meant by the mixed residential classification. Those properties, previously could have been developed as multifamily 10 units per acre. Obviously, developer wants to do 19 units per acre, and in order to even get to that point, then a planned unit development would have to be reviewed and approved. And we do have special requirements to get over to create that district in the first place. It has to be exceptional development. It has, it just can't be more density. So the project, in and of itself has to be, exceptional. It has to be, more than what would normally be anticipated in terms of design and attributes and amenities and so on and so forth. And, even if nothing changed, they would have to get over that hurdle. And there's no guarantee that that would happen, because that's considered a planned unit development. And again, there's a threshold that has to be met in order to allow that greater density. And I'm not sure that that's the case, but we really aren't here for, arguing the merits of what's being proposed and so on and so forth. The comprehensive plan obviously is a policy document. There's no right or wrong. And basically what we're talking about is a change to the comp plan. And it's all policy-based in terms of, how you see the community growing. We're not here to talk specifically about a property or developer, but obviously that has implications for what you're thinking about. So, here again, all the changes here are policy-based, and it's basically how you see the community developing and how it fits.
If I could add to that, Tim, for some of the members who weren't part of the discussion as we wrote the comp plan in the first place, the idea here is that we would want to encourage the initial intention, which is what our mixed residential definition is saying. Should a developer bring in an exception to a higher density, that would be something that the Plan Commission, as representatives of the greater people, would consider so that we can make that fit and still, provide for the community in ways that the community has asked us to. But it is also important that the policy document be respected in the fact that the intent was to maintain the integrity of those neighborhoods.
Any thoughts from any of the other members? Well, with that being said, I guess yeah, I know. I was gonna look and see if there was one here so I could follow.
There isn't, but basically the motion will be to recommend to the village board the changes as set forth in the draft resolution.
Would that be 2021?
It doesn't have a number yet because it's obviously not passed yet.
Yeah, this resolution is going to be presented to the village board, correct?
Yes, that's the motion, and it's basically making a recommendation with regard to a revision to the comp plan.
I will motion what Tim said. If I can repeat all that. Motion to the village board to revise the comp plan. Right?
As set forth in the
As set forth
in the draft
in the draft
resolution. Yes.
resolution.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to present the draft to the village board of resolution 2021. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next item up on the agenda is recommendations for future agenda items. Potential revisions to the zoning code with regard to the downtown transition area described in the village's comprehensive plan would be one of the items, correct, Tim? Anybody else have any other items?
No, but I wouldn't mind getting at that one earlier than later. there's activity going on. So it's, you know, I mean, not just the activity we've heard of tonight, but, I mean, I think there's gonna be some activity from some of the other folks that were in here tonight, and that could really start to generate some buzz. And I think that we don't wanna write rules based on, we don't wanna write reactive rules, we wanna write proactive rules, so.
Okay, I guess with that, then the next meeting would be September 13th, 2021 at 6:30 PM is the regular meeting. Does that work, Eileen? Anybody have anything else for the Plan Commission? Otherwise, then I will look for adjourn, right? Anybody, have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you, folks.